Okay, we're back over at the solder mat with the boards we're going to use for our custom Game Boy. I want to use this board, so we're going to have to move this chip back over onto this board. I only got 2 capacitor kits, so I don't have any more capacitor kits. I just realized I'm wearing the wrong gloves too, so let me actually change my gloves. Alright, there we go. Sorry about that. I've been jumping back and forth between the mats a lot for this project, and it's hard to keep track of my attire. But yeah, we got to move this chip back onto this board. I only had the 2 capacitor kits, and I already used the capacitors from the 1 kit on this board. Then the other capacitors obviously on the Game Boy that we just finished, the factory Game Boy. So I do have the kits each kit came with an extra one of these 100 microfarad 10 volt capacitors, I believe. I'm pretty sure. So I'll use the new ones for these guys here, but I'm gonna try to take these guys off and put them on here. I don't know if it's a good idea or what, but I'm gonna try it. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I'm gonna strip everything down off of this board that I want to begin with, and then we'll take the capacitors off of this guy. Probably put the chip on first and then put the capacitors on. I also need to, I'm not worrying about this capacitor because I have a new power board, a CleanPower from Retro 6, and then I will do these capacitors also. And then I think I am going to swap, I bought these new terminals, and I'm going to swap these terminals for the ones in here. Even though I could use this one, but I'm just going to leave the good parts on here that I can, because I eventually might use this board. I might have to use this. I might have to end up, because this board is a little messed up. I may end up in the future having to migrate everything back over here. In that case, yeah, whatever. Stay lovey, we'll do it if we have to. So yeah, we'll strip this guy down and then start putting all the new stuff, or the old stuff, on this one. Okay, we got our CPU back on. We got all the capacitors replaced. We just have to put the power board on. We're using the Retro 6 CleanPower 2 or square. I don't know if it's squared or 2. I don't know. It's this one. It came in this bag. Chapow! Yeah, so we put that on, and then we also have the Game Boy CleanAmp, but I have to look up how to install that one because it's not as straightforward. It's like this is a straight swap from the old power board, but the other thing is not. So let's get this on real quick, and then we'll get the other one on. I just realized I installed this kind of upside down here, as you can see, so yeah. Okay, we got the Game Boy CleanAmp from Retro 6 here. I looked up how to install this. It's very simple. I mean, the cable itself is very straightforward. It's got where it's supposed to connect to. If you can see that, probably not because the lights. Yeah, there we go. Right, left, and ground on the on the volume wheel. That's for the speaker down there, and then we have the headphones, and then the 5-volt or the phone and the high 5. I'm assuming that's headphones. I don't know. Anyway, there's also instructions online, a video linked in the product page at Retro 6 for this, but it's very straightforward. We're just going to. We're going to attach these 3 to these pins on the volume wheel here, and then we're going to attach the phone to the pad where the white cable comes in, and then the 5 volts is then attached to the pin where the 5 volts from the power board the 5 volts comes in from the power board via this red cable. Very straightforward. So let's get that done. Okay, that was very straightforward, very easy. I might have made it look difficult because I'm pretty rubbish at this. Like somehow I was trying to put trying to put fresh solder on this pin, and I ended up putting a bunch of solder on this ground plane or this copper shielding, whatever this is. So it was like getting in the way here. But I did end up getting it on. They might not look the prettiest, but they're on. It's very straightforward. I do want to go through real quick and just check continuity to make sure that this pad is connected. We'll check it on this pin here for this guy, and then go through, check continuity, make sure that it's all connected where it needs to be connected before we move on to the speaker, which goes down here. Okay, got our multimeter out, set to continuity. You hear the beeps. I'm assuming this is a test point for this, which would be nice to use, so we're going to check. Okay, good, yeah. So that means it's going into the pin, down the red wire, to the end of the red wire. Excellent. There's another point here for the phone, which goes along the gray wire. Makes its way to the pad, and then goes down to there. It's not shorting with any. It is shorting. It's supposed to be shorting. I don't know if it's supposed to. It might supposed to be. I'm gonna assume that it is. Anyway, I also want to check to make sure that it's not shorting onto this ground plane, because like I said, I tried to. No, we're not. Okay, that's good. I hope that's these guys. Those guys aren't shorted, and the wires don't look shorted. I mean, it makes its way through. I'm trying to follow the trace of here, but I don't. That goes into there. It might be shorted because there's no headphones in there, and it's supposed to be, because it's just this. It's just the audio circuit, so that part might all be connected. I'm not quite sure. And then these guys, let's see, this guy goes to this guy. Let me try to zoom in so I can follow along here through the camera. This guy is this the test point for it? Let's check this test point. Comes out here, goes into underneath there, of course, so I have no idea where that goes. This guy does the same thing, so that's great. Are these connected here? I don't think they are. That's just the legs of those, whatever's attached there, and then this is a ground, so there should be, yeah. I don't know where these go, so we're just going to test on the edge of the pad as far as we can from the test point. Okay, I think that's good. Should be good. Yeah, they go underneath this, and I don't know where they come out. Who knows? Okay, now the only thing we have left is the speaker. That just gets attached onto here. And this kit came with a speaker. I don't know if they all do. It's the only one that I saw, and it was directly from their site. So yeah, we just gonna slap her on there. I'm gonna tend these pads before I try to put those on real quick. Might be hard to see because of the lighting in here. Sorry about the lighting. I'm not good at what I do. Okay, then I think that is it, right? We got everything. We got the new power board on. We replaced all the capacitors. We put the working CPU back on this board. We've added the clean audio modification. Put the new terminals on. I think that's everything for this board. I just want to really quickly, I'm going to attach it to the screen that we're not using currently, just to make sure that everything still works, because, you know, I probably should have kept the old power board on and whatever, but I trust this. So let's actually hook it up to the other screen to make sure that everything's still working before we proceed with more upgrades. I don't know how it works with the original speaker here, so I'm just going to pop that off real quick before I hook everything up. Okay, I took the original speaker off. So we just have this speaker here. Plug it in. I also bought a new game today. Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. I have not tested it. I assume that it works. And I hope that this doesn't fry this game. That would actually suck. So yeah, let's just fire it up and try it. I'm gonna turn the volume up, but not the whole way. Ready? Here we go. I don't know why I'm scared. We have power, and interestingly, we have what looks to be a CPU issue. It looks like a lot like our CPU issue. Okay, that worked. I heard a crackle here. Wow, that is loud. That is incredibly loud. Looks like it's all still working. I want to try it again. I don't know why it didn't work right away that first time. Let's try it again. The speaker pops every time it's so loud. It's not even all the way up. It did say output, increase your output by 500%. That, I believe it. Does it play sounds during the demo? I don't think so. I want to see something. I mean, we did hear a sound from the original chime, but there we go. Listen to that. It actually does sound very crisp, right? It's a good soundtrack. Okay. So that's still working, right? Good. We didn't break anything with those modifications. I was a little nervous there. I don't know why it didn't fire up the first time. I don't know, but it's working now. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on with the upgrades. So what do we have left, right? What do we have as far as upgrades go? Well, we have this. This is our laminated IPS screen for the Game Boy, obviously. And this screen will drop into our shell, which we also have an upgraded shell too, but we need to test this first. And this has the driver board, the LCD board as well, which is this guy. So this plus the screen will replace the LCD board. So we can get rid of this guy. We need to do a dry test too, and this guy too. That's actually the actual like the driver boards for that screen, I believe, and this is just a replacement for the LCD. Anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, let's get rid of this guy. We're gonna dry fit all this stuff. I mean, I don't think there's any soldering required for this stuff, but before we put it in the shell, we're gonna dry fit it all and test it again just to make sure everything's working. So yeah, let's get that part done. Okay, so we're gonna get everything out here first. I don't know if I specifically mentioned which screen this is, but this is the High Speedo Q5 laminated display. Marketed as also having the on-screen display functionality, which is cool, I guess. We're gonna dry fit it here. I ordered this. I can't remember which site. I think I ordered this from Retro Game Repair. I don't remember. Retro Game Repair Shop. I think is the one I ordered it from. But Handheld Legend has an install guide. So we're going to use Handheld Legend's install guide to install this. And of course they recommend, or they encourage, I guess that's the same thing, a dry fit of all the parts before, a dry fit and test before complete assembly, just in case there is an issue, because sometimes things happen and there can be issues. Because if it's an issue related, if it's an issue with the screen and everything that's related to like a bad assembly, then they don't cover, that's not covered. So always dry fit before. I don't know which cables are which here. That's why we have the instructions, I guess. Come here, you. I think that's everything. Hope that's everything. Okay, so our screen's upside down here. I think this piece. This piece will connect onto here carefully. Careful, SpongeBob. Okay, there we go. There we go. So we put that in there so it fits like that. This will then go in front of it, and this guy gets installed this way. There's no catch. Is there a catch on this? Okay. Yeah. I think so. I think there's a catch on it. So it slides in like so, very easily, and then we flip the doohickey down to secure it into place. And then this ribbon cable pins up, I believe. Let me double check. It looks like pins up. They use a different cable in the picture because it's got it right. It looks more like this kind. There's like writing on one side, but I'm assuming there's pins up, so it's still the same stupid kind of connector that the original Game Boy, the factory screen has. I hate this one. I don't want to put any pressure on the screen. Should have done this before I put, you know what? I don't want to have to finagle with this guy. Okay, I don't want to have to finagle with that, so we're going to take that cable off for a second so I can more comfortably insert this ribbon cable, which I hate. I hate these cables. I don't know why I struggle with them. Okay, there we go. Just slide in. Just slide in. Nope. Does anybody else struggle with these? Like, I don't want to bend these cables because I know how delicate they are. Okay, I believe it's in. It didn't even feel like it went in at all. It did. That's because it didn't. So let's try this again. Is there like some secret to this? Am I putting it in upside down? Does this ribbon cable matter? It's not. There's no like catch on this. Okay, there we go. That's definitely in that time. So before I put that back in, this will then go, wait. pins up. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So it'd be like they'll be sandwiched together. So yeah, it's gonna go also pins up into this board. So here we go again. Oh gosh. Oh, I hate these cables so much. Every time I see someone doing this on YouTube, it's like they do it so effortlessly. So I feel like I have to be doing something wrong. That was much smoother. I wonder if it's because that cable is a bit you know, it's worked in. I don't want to like pinch these all the way shut, but I don't really want it to be flopping around like it is. So we're gonna do a dry. We'll leave it like this. This should be okay. Not touching anything, right? And then we'll slide this guy into here, like so. Again, make sure you're flipped up. Slide you in like so, like so, like so. Haha, sucker. I thought this was a cable, but I don't know what this is. Is this like tape? This might be tape for something. Maybe sticking. This might be tape to stick like this to the thing here. I might have skipped that. If that's what that is, I skipped that part. Okay, so now we've got it all dry fitted. Let's try her out here. Oh, I'm real nervous. Hold on a second. Okay, slid everything out of the way, moved the light so it's not glaring too much. Got it all hooked up. It's powered. We've got our cartridge in. Our speaker is pointing down so it doesn't deafen us. Let's make sure nothing is shorting. We should be good. I don't think there's anything. Kind of squish it down a little bit more over here so we definitely know you're not touching anything. These guys, bend these guys out of the way. Whoo, okay, all right. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Here we go. Sorry if like it's my nervousness is annoying to people. I can't help it. All right, just turning it on now. Our screen lit up. Look at that. That looks really good. That looks really good. Look at that. Look how good that looks. Holy cow. Holy crap. I was like, there's no battery indicator light because it's on the board. But that looks really good. Let's see if I can't get you guys. I don't want to move stuff too much. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see it. I'm realizing, oh no, that's right. I was about to say, I'm realizing there's no sound. There definitely was a chime. The demo doesn't play sounds. But look at how good that looks. I don't remember how to do the on-screen display stuff. If I click, oh, that's right. Okay. Don't look at that. We're gonna go through all that stuff later on. But we'll come back to that. All right. Do you know it works? Moving on to the next step. Okay, so we're ready to assemble now, basically, because this all just drops in. Like I don't have to actually solder anything else. So let's move over to our other mat, and I'm gonna clear that off first because it's, you know, junk. And then we'll move over there and we'll get this puppy assembled into our new case. Let's go. All right, we're back. We're over on this mat now, of course, and now we just gotta put everything into this new shell. This shell is the, I don't know, I think it's the High Speedo shell, if that's a thing. But it's a shell that is recommended. That fits perfect. So I don't need to do any shell modifications. It'll work perfectly just to drop in the new screen and everything. I didn't want to have to deal with those modifications because they looked doable, but it's a lot of work. And I just, for my first upgrade, I wanted to kind of take it a little easy. So I went with this one. So we're gonna start. I'm gonna undo all the connections, and then we'll get this guy out. We'll probably start by putting the screen in and getting it reconnected. So yeah, let's get going. This came in the kit, and I assumed it was a sticker. I mean, it is sticky. I peeled it back, and it is sticky here. Not that you guys can really tell, but it is sticky. Well, you can see that it's sticking. Yeah. It is sticky, so I thought maybe that would be used for sticking this guy down, because it's just whatever, but I can't get, like, if it is double-sided, I can't get the other side off, and the installation has nothing about sticking this thing down. I checked the video, it's the same, it's the handheld, I'm using the Handheld Legend install guide for this, and it was their video that I watched. They didn't stick this down, so I'm not sticking it down, but I don't know what this is for, if it is for anything. So yeah, let's just carry on, I guess. Put the board in now, here. I'm gonna screw it down first, and then we will attach this. The case came with its own screws, so we'll use those screws. Before I go screwing stuff down, it would probably make sense, you know, to put the buttons. Speaking of the buttons, it would probably make sense to put the buttons in the case first. Now we can put, right? The speaker is on. At this point, before you put this in here, if you are still using the original speaker, not the upgrade that we have, you would solder the speaker on here, obviously. Whenever it's laying down, the buttons are pushing up on the board, and I always forget that. I'm like, why is it not sitting right? Because the buttons. All right, there we go. Now we can attach this cable back onto this board. Try to get it this way. Probably should have done this before I screwed it in. I thought it'd be easier otherwise. Okay, got it in there. Took a little finagling, but we got it in. I'm actually going to switch now and put the backboard into the back of the shell. Should be a simple process, right? I don't need anything fancy. I think that's good. We'll screw it down. Screw it down. Put our switch in before we do that. That's the wrong way. Put our switch in before we do that. There we go. There we go. That feels good. Yeah, screwing her down now. Screwing it down now. Okay. Let's make sure these guys are tight. Okay. I think that is, yeah, we're still a little off there. I think it'll be fine. Let's put the Put this guy back in. The easiest part, yeah, the best part, everyone's favorite part. I think that's in. I can never tell. I think that's good though. Stick it. It's probably not like super sticky. And hopefully it's like reusable sticky. Is that even on there? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's good. Now we can squish her. Oh, that ribbon cable is like so fresh. And switch to our other tip. And now we can put our case screws in. I was like, what the heck is that? I thought a piece of the Game Boy came off. Scared me. Oh. One last thing before we're ready. Those buttons feel nice. These ones don't feel nice, but these ones feel nice. Just gotta peel this. Just gotta peel. I miss having fingernails. Gently. Zoom in a bit here. Oh, yeah. Just gotta peel. Just gotta peel this off. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that screen. Look at that Game Boy. I am pleased with this ugly clear orange. I love it. I love it so much. Oh, actually there's one thing we didn't do, and that is this. That's the our CleanJuice Power Up USB C rechargeable battery, and I think you just attach like so. Positive, negative should go in here. This away. Why is this all upside down and junk? Okay, flip you around. Why don't I do it like a smart person? I think this just plugs in here, and this just sits back here like so, perhaps. And I think GB positive and then ground, which would then line up with those guys. Do I have to take? I think I have to take these things out. I think I have to take these guys, these terminals out, and I think it just slides in, right? Because that would be the negative to that one, and the positive would connect to that one. Maybe. I will take those out eventually, but I actually want to. I want to get batteries. I'm going to try these with batteries, both of them with batteries, because I'm going to be using them with batteries. So let me get the batteries. Flip this guy over. Look at the batteries, and we're going to test both of them at the same time. Maybe not at the same time because I don't have that many batteries. We'll test them both at the same time, actually. Be right back. I grabbed some batteries, but before that, I almost forgot the thingy. We don't want to lose that already. Jeez. That did not stay on. Okay. There's no bite to that. That's going to get lost immediately. Look at that. It doesn't even stay in there. Wow. 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 What a ripoff. Huh, okay, well, I'm going to lose that anyway, so might as well put it somewhere where I'm going to lose it faster. Here it is. I got batteries. Let's put some batteries in here, make sure it's off. Alright, and got other batteries already in the, excuse me? Oh no, we're fine. It's a little snug in there. Ugh, okay. There we go. It wasn't all the way in. Alright, so there's this guy. This one's already got batteries in it. And it's already powered on. Wait, sorry, hold on. Click. Ting. Alright, we're playing our game. We got our Super Mario Land in here. Look at how nice this one turned out. I thought maybe this would be a fun little shtick. I do want to compare these. I didn't really get a chance to, when I built this, I didn't get a chance to compare the Game Boy to the, it's pretty good. Like, I think it's pretty good comparison. It's got the thingy on it too. I don't remember if that comes off, and I think if you take this off, then it is like a kind of like a port thing. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's even got those things down there. I think it's a pretty good comparison. Except for it's missing the helpline. Well, I thought for a second, I thought maybe they had the same serial number. That'd be crazy. Could you imagine having the Game Boy with that serial number and getting this thing and being like, oh snap, this is my Game Boy. They modeled it after my Game Boy. Anyway, let's actually test that. Sorry about that. That was dumb. So let's actually test it. I don't have batteries in here. Was actual Super Mario Land. Alright, this one we have not tested since we put it back together, right? I don't remember when the last time was that we tested this one, but it's a complete mystery as to whether this is even working or not, which I hope it better be working, because I don't want to have to go through all that crap again or anything again to troubleshoot. That would be another episode anyway if that did happen. And this one, we tested it before we put it all together, so I don't see why it wouldn't be working unless somehow we cracked the screen while we were assembling it, but I was very gentle with it. So let's start with this guy. Let's check out the old DMG original factory. Whew. It powers on. We've got Nintendo Scroll. It made the chime. It has loaded the game. We have the game audio though. That's weird. We have the chime, but we have no game audio. Could be a dirty cartridge connector. Let's try reseating it. We didn't get the chime that time. Did the audio just die? Oh great. That was weird. Did we not get the chime? Did I hallucinate the chime? Oh, there it is. Okay. That could be... That's weird. All the buttons seem to work just fine. Yep, select works too. I don't know if you can get out any of these pipes, but I'm pushing down. Ugh. I kind of love how bad this game is. Anyway, I love the music. The game is real bad, actually. Alright, so that one it works. The audio is a little intermittent. It might be Something with the volume wheel, or I don't know what that was. I feel like we had that issue actually with this because this is the board. This is that board we got, the donated board that we were going to use as a donor board, and I remember the first time I tested it, it had that issue. I thought a recap would help it. It might actually be a dirty headphone jack, maybe, still. I'll have to do more testing, and maybe I'll come back to it if I figure out what's wrong with it. But that's that one working. Let's check out this one. See how it works, if it works. Fingers crossed. I'm like real excited, real nervous. Oh goodness. Here we go. Looking at power's right up. Oh man, look at that screen. Screen is gorgeous. This one also. Oh, there we go. The sound's just all the way down. Oh my, it's so loud. I'm not even turning it. I'm going to turn it headphone forward. I'm going to turn it all the way up. I don't know how loud it's going to be for you guys. It's very loud. That's as loud as it'll go. It is very loud right now. That's crazy. That is insane. We just said 500% louder, and he was not wrong. These buttons are... I'm not sure how I feel about them. They're stiff, which is kind of nice, but at the same time it's like... kind of doesn't feel good. I don't know. The D-pad feels fine. And start and just select work. There we go. Start and select work just fine too. I don't know about... I don't know how long these batteries are going to last either. That's another thing too. I want to test that. Especially when I use my EverDrive in here. That's going to probably suck a lot of the juice out of this too. But yeah, we'll see. So this has on the contrast wheel, because there is no contrast. Well, the contrast wheel controls the brightness, if you can see here. So we can turn the brightness. I accidentally pushed it in. When you push it in, it cycles through these colors that you can have the screen, which I think is a feature that I will never use. Personally, I do like... There was the one that kind of... Because this is like just gray, whereas like the Game Boy has like a greenish color to it. And I think there was like... This one kind of feels more like Game Boy colored than... I mean, that might just be yellow or something. I don't know. But... Or that other green one. I think I'm just going to go with this regular one though. But I think just scrolling... The wheel's a little sticky, and it said if the wheel was sticky, you might have to trim on your there's this capacitor here. The legs might need trimmed down. My legs were a lot shorter than I think the originals were, so I thought that might be okay, but it seems like it might not be. It looks like so going up it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. When I was going down, it like did not seem like it was going down. Like it's going down, but it's like it's like hopping back up. It could be because of the resistor on it. I don't know. But there's also an on-screen display to change some settings. I don't know how to access that yet, so I'm gonna go figure that out and then show you guys how to access that one. Okay, it's actually pretty simple. You just click and hold the thing here, and then the on-screen display pops up, and then you use the scroll wheel to scroll through, and you can change the stuff on it. You can see here, like when I scroll down, sometimes it doesn't go down. Going up is fine, but when I scroll down, it will like not register, or it will scroll down and then scroll back up, or scroll up and then scroll down. I think that's what they were saying with the leg. I need to just trim off those legs a little bit, and it should be fine. Here's a look at the pixel effect on first. I don't know if it's even showing up on the screen here. It looks a lot more obvious in person, but it's not really. That's weird. It's not really showing up. Oh, that's cool. It turns off. Oh, there you can see it. You can see it now. Yeah. Pixel effect versus no pixel effect. Pixel effect. No pixel effect. Yeah, there's that. Okay. I don't know which one I prefer, honestly. I don't know what FRM means, so yeah, that's about it for the effects, I think. How do you get, you just press and hold to get out of there too. So that's that. Another thing we forgot about, hold on a second, our last bit of goodies was the USB C the USB C battery cover that's clear orange. I think whenever we first looked at this, it did look a shade off, and it does, like when you have them out together, they look pretty close, but yeah, you can see it's like, it's just like a shade off, and it fits in there. It's a little finicky, but you know, yeah, it's kind of noticeably different. That's fine though. I mean, if I'm going to be using the USB C with this one, then I don't mind it. I'm going to keep this one, obviously, but I'm going to probably end up using this one mostly. But there we have it. Our two Game Boys, our restored factory Game Boy that is in really nice shape, and our customized laminated backlit LCD with our custom shell and soon to be a USB-C rechargeable battery in it. And then also the audio stuff. That sound is crazy loud out there. We'll never play this on full volume. Not that I ever really do, but now I definitely won't. But yeah, it looks. Tell me what you guys think. I'm gonna be using this a lot to play through here. If you can't tell, this actually is playing Tetris. I was trying to like demo both of them, but yeah, it's really hard to get a good angle on this screen. Tell me what you guys think. You know, about either one. I'm gonna be playing this one a lot lately. I think I've been using my Game Boy Color a lot that I got, but I'm probably gonna try playing with this one a lot more, just to test it out, see how I feel about it, see if I get an actual opinion on these buttons. Like I said, all the other buttons feel good. These two are like, I'm iffy about them. And yeah, see how I feel about it. I mean, the backlit screen, it's how could you go wrong with backlit screen when you compare them? I have been, like I said, I've been playing my Game Boy Color, and I'm like doing the old school, like we used to do back in the day, sitting under a lamp next on the couch, trying to play it. But yeah, it'll be nice to have a backlit screen to play my games on. But if you watched this whole series, like, let me know what you guys thought of it. You know, if you want me to do something else, I'm going to buy some stickers. This guy needs some stickers. Yeah, stick around for more Game Boy-ish related stuff. We're not going to be working with DMGs for a little bit, but we are staying in the Game Boy family for the next video. So stick around for that one, guys. So it's been a week now since we finished this build, and I've been playing this every day since we finished, and now that I have sufficient experience with it, I just wanted to share my overall thoughts about the build, about the final build, before we wrap up the video. So overall, I have to say I'm thoroughly pleased with how this build turned out. I actually thought that once I finished this build, it was going to go on the shelf displayed next to this guy, and I probably wouldn't use it that much. The reason I thought that was because when I got the DMG in the Game Boy Color from eBay, and we fixed the DMG, I was playing it a little bit, and before that I had been using the Game Boy Pocket, and the Game Boy Pocket runs on 2 AAA batteries, and it's got no battery life whatsoever. So I wanted to use the DMG because I figured four AA batteries would have to last longer than 2 AAA batteries. I use a flash cart too, and a flash cart, it can suck the battery out substantially. I think it's mainly whenever the OS the operating system's booting up. That's where a lot of the power suck comes from. But then once it's like playing the actual game, it's similar to a regular cartridge, but it can drain the battery pretty quickly. So like I said, I thought that, you know, four AA's would be much better than 2 AA's. Didn't really see if there was a better battery life on the original DMG. It didn't seem like it was that much. Plus, I only have 4 rechargeable AA's. So when the batteries of the DMG would die, I'd have to wait for those to recharge before I could start playing again. And then I started using the Game Boy Color, and those uses 2 AA's instead of 4. But the battery life on that seemed to be substantially longer, and you know, I could swap them out, like use 2 when they die, charge those and throw the other 2 on, and then I could just keep continuously playing. Plus, the screen on the Game Boy Color is like a substantial improvement over the DMG screen. I mean, the DMG screen is iconic, I think, but I mean, it obviously has its faults. The Game Boy Color screen is just so much better, and I thought that even after upgrading to a backlit screen, I'd probably still prefer the factory Game Boy Color. And I expected, using a flash cart with a backlit screen, that these batteries would not last very long. That's why I got the rechargeable battery pack. I assumed that would have a better battery life than this would. But I'll tell you, I've been using this for a week, for several hours a day since the build, and I put fresh batteries in, like fully charged batteries in when we finished the build. I've been using the same batteries since then. They have not died yet. They are still going. Like, I was waiting till these died before I put the rechargeable battery pack in. They're still going, man. It's like the light looks very dim. It looks dimmer, but it's still going. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is a battery indicator. It's been like that since I turned it on. Basically at the same level. Might be a little lower now than it was earlier, but it doesn't really seem like it's moving. I can't really tell. It might be better with the other battery. But yeah, I did take it apart, and it was like I said, I pulled these terminals out, the shell terminals out, and I modified them. I pushed the tabs in so that I can now I don't have to take it apart to slide them out. And I was going to put, once these guys died, then you just slide the battery pack in so that it just touches these terminals, and it works just fine. I did test that. I wanted to do some testing with battery life, this battery life compared to the other ones, and I will do that. But like I said, this is not drained yet, which is super surprising to me. And this picture quality looks great. You can cycle through different colors. So you can see here, I mean, a lot of these colors I would never use, but you have this sort of black and white. I think this is more reminiscent of the Game Boy Pocket screen, and then you have this one, which is closer to the DMG screen, and then that last one before that one, which is this one, I believe is the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Color palette. So, you know, when you put a regular Game Boy game into a Game Boy Color, it gives it a different color palette. And that's what I've been using primarily. So I think this looks fantastic, in all honesty. But I did go through and I trimmed down this leg so that this wheel is now, I'm using it on the lowest, I don't even know if you guys can see it changing. I'm using it on the lowest brightness setting. Well, it's gone up since then. I must have been messing with it. Because I'm normally sitting in a dark room, so I don't need it to be super brightly lit. And that can be helping to extend my battery life. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure those are trimmed down. Also, while I had it apart, I noticed that the ribbon cable that connects the two boards together, it looked like there were some resistors on one side. I can't remember which side it is from this angle, but I'll put a picture up if I remember. Hopefully I remember that the leg I had changed, not resistors. There's capacitors that I had changed. Then the legs were sticking up, and when the shell gets closed, that ribbon cable was like putting pressure, or like the ribbon cable was rubbing up against or pressed up against those capacitor legs, and it left some imprints, and I was worried that it might penetrate, like the capacitor legs might pierce that ribbon cable. So I trimmed down the legs as much as I could, like flattened them out, and then I even put a piece of Kapton tape over top of it just to make sure that it doesn't pierce that ribbon cable at all anymore. But yeah, I mean, another thing I think that this CleanPower is probably really what is helping out with the battery life. So I definitely, if I were to redo this whole build, I mean, I would definitely do the CleanPower again. I'm curious as to how it would affect the regular Game Boy. Like if that were the only mod that I did with a regular Game Boy, what difference that would make. The audio mod, I'm not sure I would do the audio mod again. I mean, it makes really nice audio, but it's just so loud. It's like I have this like turned all the way down, and then I just turn it up a little bit just to like get a little bit of the sound playing. It's so, I mean, it's nice that I could crank it and like clear a room, but it's ridiculous. It's a little bit excessive. And I don't know that it's worth it too much because I don't play with the sound too loud. So I don't know if I would do that one again. I mean, it's a very good mod. Definitely like the CleanPower. The screen, I like this screen because it's drop-in. It's super easy to use this screen. And these shells, they make these shells that go with the screen, so you don't have to modify these shells at all. So if I were going to use this screen again, which I probably would, even though it's not substantially more expensive than a regular or like a non-laminated screen, I think it's worth it. Like it's a little bit more pricey, but not unreasonably more. I think it's worth it for the ease of installation. And then I wanted to use the shell that was just compatible with it. I didn't have to modify the shell at all. I think that overall was just like a good idea. And that's probably the route I would go again. If I were to redo this one, I don't think I would. The only difference I think I would make would be the audio mod. I may not include that one. But yeah, that's it. I mean, like I said, I really enjoy this build. Tell me guys what you think. I kind of want to like build another one, in all honesty. Like I think I'm getting the itch to just do more builds. I mean, I have other Game Boys that I'm going to do builds for, so I don't need to do another DMG at the moment. We'll see though. Let me know what you guys think of the build. What maybe you would do differently. I mean, obviously, like this clear orange shell is not for everybody. It's definitely for me, but it's not for everybody. I will leave links in the description for all the parts that I used for this build and any parts that I used for this one as well. So you guys can check it out. I'm going to try to leave links to different sites because there's a handful of sites you can get all the same parts from. So I'll leave links to different sites just so you guys can check out all the sites on your own and pick who you want to buy from. Let me know what you guys think. All the YouTube stuff. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one. What timing? What actual timing? Let me redo that outro because of the noise outside. Actually, they started cutting down a tree outside, so I don't think it's going to quiet down anytime soon. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.